put you in a trance. Let's party. Boogie in your body. Want that body. Make sure you don't hurt nobody. I say, hey, 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 feeling the fire with a burning desire. Yeah, get up off of that thing. Dance and shake and let's swing. Come on, girl, let me rock the world.
Up. I'm back. Been a while. Last time I streamed was, what, 2 years ago? 2019 for E3. I haven't streamed a single thing since then. Ugh. But, I've been making some changes around here. Some things have changed, some things haven't. I've been working on a lot of the visuals for the stream. You probably already saw with the loading screen and all that. We've got about 3 minutes until Ubisoft's things start. It's nearly 5 AM here in Australia. My sleep is still screwed, so... But I don't know if it's just me, if my sleep's gotten worse, but it seems like things are earlier in the day this year than they were in 2019. Which is good for me, and I don't have work either for the next couple of days, so I should be able to stream Nintendo as well, and Microsoft and Bethesda's weird joint thing they're doing. I'm really, really nervous about this. It's been a long time. So I was planning on doing another stream earlier today as a sort of practice thing. Get some things figured out, testing a few things. I've since last time I streamed, I got a new GPU. It was RTX 2070 Super, and with that I can use the RTX features in that to like use NVIDIA's noise reduction stuff. So hopefully my voice sounds a bit better than before. I've still got my desktop mic just sitting on the table, so if I move the mouse around, you'll probably still hear it, at least when I'm talking, but when I'm not talking, that should sound a bit better than it did last time. And same with the noise. Like when they revealed Banjo for Smash in 2019, I was screaming like mad, and listening to it back, it was really staticky. It was just, it was way too much. So I've been fiddling with a lot of things, and I feel like I've just every now and then messing around with OBS, trying different settings. I've got something that worked a bit better this time around, so hopefully it all works out well. I was a bit unsure about whether I wanted to cover Ubisoft or not, because like
Let's get scratching.
I feel like I like Ubisoft a lot less nowadays than I used to, especially with all the like sexual abuse claims and stuff that have been coming out recently. I don't really want to give them too much more time of day, but most of this stuff is probably not stuff I'm going to be super into. It's going to be things that maybe I'm curious about, but that I'm not necessarily going to play. Like, there are some parts of some of their series, like Watch Dogs or like Rainbow Six, where it's like, yeah, that looks some interesting ideas here. That's really cool. I'm probably not going to play that because I just got too many games already that aren't made by companies that have this horrible, creepy work culture behind them. Or maybe more of them do than I realize. I don't know. But oh, it looks like Ubisoft's just started, so I'm just gonna switch over. So
together, we got this gorgeous set. E3 is back.
Oh, and it's not working. Hold on. I think I know why this is happening.
The Rainbow Six operators are facing off against an evolving and deadly threat. You'll no doubt have noticed that the alien parasite has spread to new areas. It's time to suit up and step into the containment zone.
Here's a deeper look at Rainbow Six Extraction.
There we go. Extraction. Wait, wasn't that... Is that a different game from the one that they called Quarantine? The weird zombie one? Because that is not a name that has aged well. Like, that name they picked for that game was, you know, pre-COVID. And it's still not out. If they release a game called Rainbow Six Quarantine today, that would be a pretty bad look. But if this is the zombie one again, it's extremely not appealing to me as that game looked. And they changed the name to Extraction? Thank God.
So we did too.
One of our own is MIA. I need an extraction team, now.
If there's a way to stop them, you will find it. But I know you will find me first.
Yeah, that sure doesn't look like Rainbow Six. I mean, it is, but it doesn't look like it. Like, Rainbow Six was meant to be, like, the more, like, tactical thing, right? More realistic, more grounded, and like, that's what made it really interesting to me, even though I never played any of them. So the idea of taking Rainbow Six and putting zombies in it is, like, the stupidest idea on the planet for that series. I wanted to make a Tom Clancy zombie game. Maybe don't use Rainbow Six. Maybe use something else. Like, I've never played The Division. Maybe it'd be more or less fitting in that. I don't know.
Clear. Let's move out. Clock's ticking.
I found her. Hold on.
Why is this a Rainbow Six game? Oh my god.
Coming through.
This would be completely fine if it wasn't a Rainbow Six game. Like, this environment, like the stage looks, with the giant skull and everything, looked really cool, but... yeah. I'm just gonna repeat myself at this point. I have nothing else to say about this.
Not so fast.
Target the breacher! Now's our chance!
Nomad, blow the door. Cover me.
Hey, you all throwing me a party?
Yeah. Too bad you missed all the fireworks.
Team, it's Ash. We're not done yet. VIP down.
At least they changed the name. They changed the name. Thank God for that, at least.
Now I know you must have a ton of questions.
Nope,
after seeing that
not
trailer,
one.
And we have answers as well as a full gameplay walkthrough coming up, so hang tight. My name is Richard. I'm your
They're gonna
resident
dwell on this
community
game for a while,
developer
aren't
coming to you from North Carolina. We're thrilled to be back to give you an introduction to Rainbow Six Extraction.
This is one of their American teams then.
With me today in
Ubisoft is
Montreal,
French, I
have
think.
Bruno Lalonde, our lead technical director, and Alicia Fortier, game designer, to help walk us through. Alicia, what can we tell our
Those
players
names
about
sound a little
Extraction?
more European.
Extraction is a 1 to 3 player co-op experience.
Well, not. I don't know.
You might think you know what you're getting into.
Maybe I'm
since there's gonna be
overthinking
some
it.
of your favorite Rainbow Six operators, but it's going to be completely different because this time you're not fighting against each other. You're coming together to face an unprecedented, evolving alien threat. Some of the operators' abilities, gadgets, and tech should feel familiar to Siege players. But this time, as you progress through the game, you'll unlock new ability upgrades and a whole new arsenal specifically designed to take on this new threat.
Okay, so
the
they are
operators
still
we
trying to
just
keep
saw
the
in
like
that trailer
tactical
are
roots of
very
it a little bit.
familiar. But what happened to Hibana?
I didn't play much of it. I played one of the Rainbow Six Vegas games years ago, just a bit of it, and like that didn't seem very like tactical, like true to like the roots of the series. That was basically just another like over the shoulder. I know, well, it was more like first person, I think. And then you took cover, and it was just another cover shooter, you know? It's very Gears of War like.
You risk losing all your progress
In some ways.
So stay on your toes.
Another way is a bit more Call of Duty like, not really what I'd think of when I think of Rainbow Six. And then Siege came out, and it's like actually kind of true to those roots again.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the alien
So at least if they're doing it's aliens, okay.
Who are they?
But at least if they're
What we
doing
know is the Arkeens are
this
evolved form
very
of the
non-Rainbow
parasite
Six shit
that was
with
first
the zombie
detected
aliens or
few
whatever it
years
is.
ago during the
At least they're
Arctic
keeping the
and
tactical part
Olympics.
of it in check,
But a lot
hopefully,
have
or
changed
intact.
since. The parasite has spread to 3 new regions.
It's to some extent,
emerging
even if
at
it isn't.
several containment
It would just
zones
make so much more
in
sense if it was
New York,
versus other
San
humans.
Francisco, and Alaska. This is what we know so far.
Well, in at least some
Within
ways
the
it would.
containment zones, the alien ecosystem is in a continual evolution, as incubation nests and their sprawling tissue spawn procedurally, taking over different areas of the map and reaction to the player presence.
The parasite is always spreading, always evolving. But it didn't look too happy about the operators disturbing their new home. What are we facing off against?
Well, the black goo-like sprawl is probably the first thing you will take on. It spreads to the map once your presence is detected, slowing progress and helping the Arkeens. Some of the other threats you may have seen in the trailer are the long-range spiker, the explosive breacher, the shape-shifting tormentors, and the apex. There's a lot more species of Arkeens and mutations that have been observed. More to come on that very soon.
Thank you both so much for joining me. I'm really excited to dig into more of the details. We still have crossplay to talk about. Yes, that's right. Extraction will bring everyone together regardless of the platform. And for our
Good to see
Rainbow
more
Six
games doing this.
community, we have exclusive unlocks for you in
What is
both games.
this thing? That's
Okay.
not
You've been waiting.
thing with the
long enough.
lizard.
Let's take an exclusive
For a second I thought that might have been like
gameplay footage.
some kind of Twitch
Here
add-on
is Rainbow Six
overlay or
Extraction.
something, but that's just a part of the video, whatever that is. Oh, hype meter. I wasn't even paying attention to what that text said at all. Ugh.
Welcome to Rainbow Six Extraction.
It sucks that
The new tactical
within
co-op shooter
like
game,
Twitch's own
Rainbow
rules, you
Six
can only
operators are dropped into alien
restream
territory.
from certain channels. Like I could probably just restream from Ubisoft's own thing and get away with it, but just to be safe, based on what I've seen about that, I'm going through
HQ
the
will
Twitch
provide
gaming
additional
channel with all this other overlays and shit they add that I could not care less about.
It keeps evolving, adapting. Plant auto trackers on dormant nests. Don't destroy them or we'll lose the trackers.
As a squad of 3, Ella, Alibi, and Sledge will use their operator
That is
abilities
so
to
fucking
complete objectives,
distracting.
assist each other, and obliterate Arkeans in their way.
Drone spinning up.
Like, is this actually meant to drum up hype for the game? Because it seems like all it's doing is getting people to stop looking at the game and start looking at chat and this meter instead, and just totally
The
ignore
enemy
the game.
reacts to intrusions in their ecosystem, including operators.
Eliminate my target.
So stealth tactics are the way to go.
Visual on nest. Place auto trackers for our react scientists.
Auto tracker activated. Auto tracker activated.
The parasite generates sprawl, a substance that connects the whole ecosystem. Alert an Archean, and a nearby nest wakes up too. Archeans move faster in sprawl, but operators get slowed down.
Take my guy out.
The squad can use their react light to see bioluminescent properties in Archeans and in the environment. The contrast helps to better identify targets.
Nest mapping complete. A scientist just gave me the thumbs up. Good job.
Identifying Archean variants helps the team determine the best approach to take them out. Spotted a rooter. It can immobilize anyone in front of it, so Sledge will swing around back.
out of there before the swarm appears. Don't push your luck.
This sure looks like a AAA video game, alright.
That was close. Here, the team can regroup and resupply. Airlock doors will open.
Fingers crossed this year we'll actually get to see something about Beyond Good and Evil. It's been too long.
We need tissue samples from those Archies.
That's the main thing I want from this, is Beyond Good and Evil stuff. I don't necessarily expect it. If it is there, I don't know if it'll be very much, but, you know. They've got a game that they've announced that's in development. We should probably be hearing some things about it, you know? But with all this sexual abuse stuff, like, I think even Michelle Ansel might have gotten caught up in it a little bit. Not as much as some of the other people there, but I don't know what that means for Beyond Good and Evil, but or Rayman for that matter. It's the guy who's behind both of those franchises is gone from Ubisoft, and he's like,
Get that sample.
We've located a
he has more heart in it. Well, his projects have more heart than like pretty much anything else Ubisoft puts out nowadays. Yeah, I don't expect to see anything Rayman related either, but I hope I do. I still want to.
At their disposal to fight off this threat. It's all about teamwork to outsmart the enemy.
Barricade that spot.
I really like Ubisoft.
Creating a choke point is a good idea to increase
Now
the
they're
dark minds
not
of
really
the
much
team.
better than EA, to be honest. Probably a bit better, but you know, like that's saying so little.
That's the way. Keep hunting.
That's the react threat sensor. Smasher incoming.
There's also a few things before this, the Ubisoft thing I didn't get to watch. Like, there was a Wholesome Direct and there was something else. The Guerrilla Collective thing, I think.
Wow, that did it.
I was busy at work earlier today.
Another objective complete.
Went pretty late, like 1 AM.
The
Well,
squad
late
can
for me
either
anyway.
exfil at the
But
extraction
late for
point
me for
to find the
work.
latest intel, or move to the next airlock. The third subzone will be the most
And then when I get home, I
challenging
spend a lot of time
a true
fiddling with
test of both
OBS and
tactical team
different
strategy
settings and trying to get things right, which is what I probably should have already done. Like, probably should have already did some of those other streams I was thinking of doing
No way we can mobilize
before
the
this, but here we are.
down until the elite comes out of hiding.
Because my next main video I'm working on is a video about Halo. So I'm thinking maybe stream to try and get some more footage for the game. I could just stream that. I was kind of surprised there isn't some kind of setting in OBS that lets you like stream and record a different like a different scene at the same time. Like if I want to record like raw gameplay without any of the stream overlays or any of the other stuff, and have also stream with those things at the same time, it turns out the solution to that is just open OBS twice, which I thought was really funny, because most programs, well, maybe not most, but a lot of programs don't even let you open multiple instances of them. You open another one and it's like, this program's already running, what are you doing that for?
We have an operator in stasis.
And OBS does have a thing that pops up as like, hey, this program's already running, you sure did you mean to open it twice?
Hear this, but we're mounting
It's nice it has a warning, but it still lets you do it anyway. Because it turns out that's the best way to use OBS to both record decent quality gameplay footage and stream with all the overlays and stuff as two separate things at the same time.
You heard it. Arrest
But it
missions
would be
under
nice if that was some kind of feature built into OBS itself, though. We finally moving on? Spent most of that talking about other shit, or just looking at Twitter.
And stand together against this emerging threat. Squad up with friends in co-op, or step into the containment alone.
You know, I'm sure the game's fine. It looks, nothing didn't look like there's anything bad about it. Just kind of
If you think fighting aliens is tough,
ordinary and also a bit of
Well, that was a
stress.
segue.
They bring back
10
Rocksmith?
years ago, Rocksmith redefined
Cool.
music learning by
That's another game that another game series I haven't played at all. That like I'm just really cool
Whether
that
you're already an
exists.
expert or just starting out,
There's at least
has an
one
approach
person I
that's
follow on Twitter who's probably really happy about this.
Interactive way to learn guitar, playing your favorite songs. And in the
If it is
decades
actually a new
release,
game.
Our community and its impact have only amplified.
This year,
Decades.
let's turn it up to 11 and see what's
Oh,
next
it
for
hasn't been
Rocksmith.
that long. Oh shit, VOD. Oh, thank you very much, Twitch. I appreciate that. I remember hearing that something like that was going to happen with some other. So I didn't actually see which streamer it was that's doing this, but I heard there were going to be two versions of at least one kind of presentation from one of these companies, but I totally forgot which one it was. And I guess if all the big presentations are going to go through the Twitch gaming thing, then that's not something I have to worry about at all if they're going to do this with all of them. So maybe they should just be doing this stuff from the beginning. Instead of having two separate versions, like maybe just have one that's not going to be a problem. Or just to let like the music industry and copyright law not have such a stranglehold over all this stuff to begin with. But given the shitty situation we're in, it's good that Twitch is doing something for these streams, for e-streamers. Appreciate that. We shouldn't be in this situation to begin with, but it's good they're doing something. Also, I haven't really been paying attention to this ad at all. I don't know what it's actually telling us about the game. I just see a bunch of people every time I glance at it. It's like, that's not gameplay footage. What is this? More Rocksmith? Okay, cool. So the name makes me worried that this is going to be like some kind of subscription service type thing, which is concerning.
Ubisoft San Francisco. And Rocksmith
Like like Guitar Hero Live tried that, I think, or
as a lifelong gamer,
was Guitar Hero TV, something like that.
Rocksmith is
I haven't played that version of Guitar Hero with the black and white buttons, with the 6 buttons instead of 5.
The next evolution of music learning, Rocksmith Plus, a new interactive music learning subscription service.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Everything's gonna be a fucking subscription service nowadays.
By playing along to master recordings of your favorite songs. Connect your instrument to your PC, console, or mobile device and get real-time feedback as you play. Connecting with Rocksmith Plus will be easier than ever now that you can use your phone as a microphone. Download the app, log in, sync to Rocksmith Plus, set it down, and play along.
At least it'll probably make it easier for...
And electric players with amps
It'll make it easier for some people who just want to pick up and just try out an instrument and start learning it.
A game changer.
You can just jump right in with a mobile app and a subscription with a free trial and all that.
Have a huge amount of songs at launch.
But
All songs in
the fact that
library
it's
will have
just
chord
exclusively
parts
that,
perfect for rhythm players who want to learn the foundation.
that's
of a song
concerning.
to hum and strum along to. We'll still have the note-for-note, authentic arrangements for players that want to play.
Maybe
songs
they'd be better off if there was two versions of it. Like there's some kind of subscription thing, and on top of that, an option to just flat out buy stuff.
New authentic arrangements
Because, you know, what
to
happens
keep
when this stuff
growing
gets shut
the
down?
portion of the library. We're also introducing the Rocksmith Workshop, a new tool that lets users create and
Oh,
add
cool.
their own arrangements for songs we've licensed.
I would say they'd be better off just using Steam Workshop for this stuff instead of their own thing, but then that won't work on every platform.
Before, including genres
Steam Workshop is
beyond
really good
rock,
for,
pop, hip-hop,
but you know,
country,
just for
rap,
PC though.
R&B, all sorts of metal subgenres. We'll have
Might be
music
one of the
from
reasons why
all
we see
over
so
the
many
world,
different companies like
from
Bethesda
big
trying their own
stars to
thing.
indie darlings.
Not
It's
so
the
many, but you know,
most
some
diverse
companies like
song
Bethesda.
library ever seen in music learning software. Rocksmith Plus will still have our
So
proven
apparently
practice
that was a
features like
creators
adaptive
club or
difficulty
something. Apparently
and
that didn't
riff
turn out
leader,
so well,
which
but
let you
I mean,
practice and learn at your own pace or slow down. And
Bethesda.
repeat tricky
I'm not
parts until you
surprised. I
master
don't hold them in the highest
it.
regard,
Improve those
especially not
features in Rocksmith
nowadays.
Plus and are introducing new
I mean,
ones.
Bethesda is the guys that
Beginner
don't
and
id,
intermediate
you know?
players will benefit from more personalized learning. thanks to an enhanced recommendation system and more robust progress.
I think I'll stick to Guitar Hero and Clone Hero, but
their growth on a single song.
I have a lot of
They can
respect
now
for
monitor their
Rocksmith
progress, technique
for teaching
by
people the real
technique
instrument.
across the board, and overall offer a better sense of how
It'd be
you're
cool if there were more
improving
things like this
over
for more
time.
instruments, though.
Advanced players will be happy to know we're introducing a new Rocksmith tablet review. That way you could take advantage of
Rocksmith really only works for guitars, as far as I know, and bass, I suppose, but
and one that will hone
they're more
your
similar than
tapping
some other
skills.
instruments.
We're excited to announce that you can register for a chance to participate in our closed beta right after the show. Visit our website at rocksmith.com to get an early look at Rocksmith Plus and help us test and create the future of music learning. Thank you so much to the amazing fans who have enjoyed and supported Rocksmith over the past 10 years.
Oh, I know what this reminds me of, the fucking Adobe Creative Cloud shit, where you have to subscribe for it. It's a... Because at this point it's not just a video game, it's like a tool for learning and for creativity and things like that, and they'll lock in that behind a subscription. Hopefully they don't do some of the other predatory shit that Adobe does, at least.
First look at our massive multiplayer outdoor sports extravaganza. Since then, the project's grown by jumps and grinds.
Not Netflix. Oh, is that the same song from last time? Oh, I can't hear what they're actually saying now. I get the subtitles. Alright, I like the style of this one. Oh, Riders Republic. I remember hearing that name somewhere. There might have been some kind of leak about this one or something. I don't know. Gotta pay a little bit more attention now because I can't just listen to the audio and half look at the screen while I look at Twitter. Competitive extreme sports. But, I mean, competitive in, like, a video gamey way. Like, with objective-based modes. Like, it reminds me of Crayola Scoot, right? Like, that Splatoon, scooter game. Because most of the time I hear about extreme sports games, it's single-player stuff, mainly. Which is what I'd prefer, personally, but, you know. There's something like satisfying about, I guess, seeing all those different other players riding around and doing tricks, and after playing so many hours of just seeing one character. And honestly, this looks way more appealing than, what was it called again? Steep. That's what it was. Like, I'd rather play Tony Hawk, probably. But I'd probably rather play this than Steep. The music's not long enough. Gotta loop the same song for a third time. Okay, so maybe it wasn't Ubisoft that was doing a proper DMCA safe version of this. And the restreams are different, and there's an actual, like... some other company was doing a DMCA safe version where you'll actually be able to still hear voiceovers over the copyrighted music if there is anything like that. Are there any good BMX games besides Dave Mirror 2? Oh, and I guess some people like 1 more than 2. I don't, but I haven't played very much of 1. I never got far in 2. I just played it a lot as a kid. I mean, that's basically just Tony Hawk but with bikes. And a lot slower, which makes it, in some ways, probably better for beginners. And maybe not the best quest design. Like, right at the beginning of the game, just run around in circles looking for ladders in this level that's way too big and got way too much empty space in it. Like, just doing tricks and stuff is fun, but then some of the missions in it weren't great. But I can't really think of many other BMX games that were any good or that existed at all, honestly. I can't think of very many of them. Good to see a game that adds to... What the fuck? Rocket-powered bicycles! Alright. I got too many games to play already, but that looks fine. Looks alright.
Pre-order now and claim your right to rip.
Okay.
Extreme sports has always been that sort of thing that I like aesthetically. Like, I like in a very superficial way, but I don't really know anything about it.
We're still trying to clear all those pesky floors.
Like, I'm rubbish at Tony Hawk games even, let alone, anything real with the stuff.
200,000 concurrent players a few weeks ago.
Or more realistic kinds of games, like Skate, which I've played a little bit of, but not much. But I really should change that. Jet Set Radio, on the other hand, I'm really into, but that's like... I mean, that's more like an extreme sports, like, themed platformer or something, you know? It doesn't really play anything like something like Tony Hawk. Very briefly in that, like, in the thing I saw Twitch Prime doing before, before the Ubisoft thing, I saw a brief glimpse of from our Cyberpunk trailer.
With the community growing
So,
every day, we've been hard at work finding ways to improve your ability to play with your friends.
hopefully I didn't miss too much info about that, because I'm very excited for that game as a Jet Set Radio fan.
PC and cloud-based platforms with crossplay and cross-progression. That means that any player on Amazon Luna, Stadia, or PC...
I keep vaguely hearing about Amazon Luna on, like, news headlines, and never hear anything about the actual games that are going to be on it, that are... Except for, like, this and, like, the classic Sonic games will come to it, I think? Well, not just classic, but a few Sonic games. I wonder if... Also, they're mentioning Stadia. It's the middle of 2021 and they're still mentioning that Stadia exists.
It will finally allow you to play with your friends.
They just totally dropped the ball on that launch. They're just like, at first I was like, oh, it's just a soft launch. They're treating it like it's a mobile app rather than a big video game console launch. You know, they're gonna slowly peter this stuff out and then it'll gain traction. And then no, they just gave up like the second they released the thing.
From your amazing fan art to the awesome cosplays, the Rainbow Six community is the lifeblood that keeps this game moving forward.
God knows what Luna's gonna be like. If that's, I'm not big on the idea of streaming games like that at all. I'd rather just download them. But I'm glad that those kinds of options exist, not as a replacement for downloading games or for having a physical disc or card or whatever, but just as another option. It's good. It's a good thing to have. I'm sure it'll suit some people in those specific conditions, like having decent enough internet and things like that fairly well.
She saved my life.
Even if it's not really for me. I still think it's interesting, you know? A lot of stuff with video game stuff, it's like, that's cool. I'm probably never going to use that. I'm probably never going to play that, but it's cool that that exists. And I hope someone likes it.
That symbol, what does it mean?
And they're doing a bunch of Rainbow Six Siege stuff now. Okay. I mean, like I was saying before, Rainbow Six Siege seems like a really cool game, but again, not something I would probably play much of. But that's something I have a lot of respect for as like as a competitive game. It seems really interesting to, you know, watch like video essays about it and things like that.
What's happening?
That's a flare gun.
Wait, that's it?
Hopefully they're not gonna kill the bear. I always hate seeing animals like get hurt and stuff like this, even if they're like ferocious animals and, you know, they're made to be as dangerous as possible. Like there's this horror movie I watched last Halloween, Don't Breathe, because I thought the idea of it was really cool, and like most of the movie was fantastic up until the final, like, I don't know, third of it where it kind of fell apart in a few different ways. And then like half the time, whenever the dog was on screen, I just kept thinking, oh god, don't kill the dog. Like I was more interested in hoping that the dog didn't die than, even though the dog's meant to be the bad guy, than like I was more worried about the dog's safety than the people trying to escape. Because like animals they don't always know that they're doing right or wrong, or they don't understand that stuff. Like in a situation like that with a dog especially, it's just, this is my master, this is my family, I will protect them. Even if it turns out their master is a pretty despicable person, like the dog doesn't know about that stuff. Animals just trying to like survive, you know? Like the bear's just trying to survive. It's just looking for food or defending itself or whatever. I don't want to see animals get hurt and stuff like that. That's not fun. And this is like really cartoony, really over the top in a certain way, where it feels less like animal cruelty and more like slapstick. Like that boss in Yakuza 5, where there's just like a giant bear you just punch the shit out of, and it's so silly and over the top and so like not realistic, and it's not brutal or gory or anything for the most part. So it's like that doesn't really disturb me. Also, I totally zoned out. What are we watching now? Watch Dogs crossover thing? Oh. The sizzle reel? Okay. I think I saw Team NT and Brawlhalla there. Those sprites don't look great. They don't. I'm sorry. That Team NT beat 'em up game looks really cool though. Oh, was this the one with the guy from The Walking Dead and the dog and everything, and nobody liked it? Yeah, it is. There he is. There. That's the same actor. Are they still supporting this game? That's... Or maybe they're just mentioning it because it's the anniversary.
Just Dance has always been about connecting with friends and family.
Okay, bring out the pandas.
There are no boundaries. So move the coffee table, alert the local homeowners association, and let's get loud.
I have a confession to make. I kind of like the pandas. It's kind of cute and fun and silly. When it's on stage anyway. There's like heavily like edited like trailers and shit. Not so much, I guess. Like the stage performances with one time they had the big like marching band and everything was pretty fun. So again, this is a series that I wouldn't spend a lot of time actually playing. I just do not have the energy for this shit. I really don't. Barely bring myself to play VR stuff as much as I want to. My sleep issues and on the days I have work can be really tiring too. Even though I don't work a lot of hours, it's a stressful job, you know? I want to come home and then be up on my feet and running around in a game. I don't want to sit down and relax at that point. Has 2022 been announced yet or not? I don't know. If it has, is it coming to the Wii? That's what I want to know. Okay, there's a Switch version. What about the other versions? Oh, there's no Wii logo. There's no Wii logo.
It's time to get our Viking on.
Oh, Assassin's
It was a
Creed.
big year for the new chief of the Raven Clan, but your journey with Eivor is
Valhalla is like the least Assassin's Creed looking Assassin's Creed game. Like, it's not quite as stupid as like whatever that Rainbow Six game's called. The new name I already forgot. When it used to be called Quarantine. But it doesn't really look Assassin's Creed like to me. But I'm glad that at least the series has been changing over time, you know?
In November 2020, we released Assassin's Creed.
I see at least one other person on my Twitter feed freaking out about it's not on the Wii.
Any Assassin's Creed game to date, and we have you to thank for that. Becoming Eivor, a Viking leader going on a quest to fight for
I probably said this last E3 stream too, but I haven't finished an Ubisoft game since, I mean a Assassin's Creed game since Black Flag. It's got too samey. Too many of them. Says the person that binged like nearly 3 Yakuza games in a row the past like 6 months. Less than that, somewhere in that range.
Buildings in your settlements. Congrats. Eivor still has a
The guy either like get into a game for a little while and then just like zone out and stop playing it somewhere in the middle, or I just like totally binge it and just play nothing but that series for ages.
And even whole new game modes.
And I'd end up getting like halfway through a game, be like, yeah, I'm done, and then I get distracted by something else and maybe come back to it later. Even if it's a really good game, because just my attention span's just like that, I guess.
For instance, we'll be adding
Or yeah, it was like I was with Yakuza recently, or like I've been with like I was the first time when I got the like the Nathan Drake collection on PS4. I just like played all 3 of those games back to back, and I wasn't expecting to do that. For some reason, I just really wanted to. I don't know.
We love seeing your continual feedback, and we thank you for your patience and support for the game. On top of regular free updates, we're also building on Eivor's story and the world of Assassin's Creed Valhalla through game expansions. Wrath of the Druids released a few weeks ago, allowing players to explore Ireland and battle a mysterious cult, the Children of Danu. In our second upcoming expansion, you'll get to relive the Siege of Paris. This is the most ambitious battle in Viking history, taking place in war-torn Francia. You'll have to do everything in your power to uncover enemy secrets and form strategic alliances in order to safeguard your clan's future. Players may be excited to learn that black box infiltration missions are returning. This means you're given a goal for a mission, but how you'll achieve it is up to you.
The series is just totally unrecognizable to me. I used to be so into Assassin's Creed, and this just looks like something completely different.
Of course, new enemies. Watch out for the Siege of Paris coming this summer. Assassin's Creed
It's hard to look at this and feel like, oh yeah, I like this series. I played a bunch of these games. I beat like
that the new Discovery Tour
I
will
don't
be
know.
released this fall. It will be free to all.
I beat like 6 of these games, you know? Like they're a lot of fun, and then
Take a deeper dive into the history.
this isn't that. And I'm sure it's good. It's just, I'm not complaining that it's different. It's just, I don't know, it feels strange, you know? I'm not saying they made a mistake, I'm not complaining. Like, it's good that they're spicing up this series that is known for being quite repetitive.
Whether you're an Assassin's Creed
And as someone who stopped playing a while ago and looking at what it is now, it's like, when did this happen? Did I put it on the right video? This right game? This Assassin's Creed? You sure?
Stop here. For the first time,
Okay.
on the Assassin's Creed title, we'll be supporting the game well into its 2nd year. Well, this year will
Far
be
from the only series that's evolved like this, though. Like, look at Final Fantasy, like the NES stuff compared to like the PS1 and onwards, you know?
Something tells me that Eivor is not done with Odin yet.
So you've seen some great games from us, but we also have news about the movies and TV series we've been working on.
Okay.
Our Ubisoft Film and Television.
Is this
team
something?
has
Do I
some
need to worry
exclusive
about
content to
the
share.
trailers having
Up first is Mythic
too much
Quest,
copyright
a
stuff?
workplace comedy set
Too
in a
copyright
game development
issues?
studio that's streaming on Apple TV+. If you haven't watched the second season yet, here's a look at what you've been missing before the upcoming season finale.
Apple though. Yep, there's the DMCA safe music. I might have already seen a trailer for like season 1 of this and completely forgotten about it. Guys, the trailer's over. Guess you can stop the music now. Or are they just gonna do this for this whole like segment and not start and stop it? Okay, what does this have to do with video games? Like the last one was like a show about like game development or something, right? What's this have to do with anything? I have nothing to say to this. It's a muted trailer for a TV show. Why is this here? Owen. Why is this here? Wait, what game is this based on? Rebels Within? Is that a game? I didn't test what typing will sound like with this with the NVIDIA like noise reduction thing, so I don't know how audible this is going to be. I'm intentionally like typing in between like breaths and sentences and stuff, because I know that when I moved around the mouse when I was testing that and I was talking at the same time, then like it didn't filter out as well while I was talking at the same time.
No hero story is complete without a great rival to match them. After all, even the most vile tyrant is a star of their own narrative.
When it comes to memorable villains, no one does it better than Far Cry.
Apparently this is a PSVR game.
Abuela, what the hell I'm gonna do with baseball cards? Do you have any idea what these
are?
Let us through.
Is this just like the card game Werewolves? They tried to make a show of, like, they made a VR game like that, and then they made a show based on that?
For his family.
Bullshit. Alejo is an orphan.
Alejo's not going anywhere anymore.
Alright, well I'm sure the game's fine, but why make a TV show over it?
Let them on.
Vamos.
Good man.
Get out of boxing now.
Gracias.
Far Cry is another series that I haven't gotten into at all.
That's all I've got.
There's too many of them. it's like the Assassin's Creed problem, there's too many of them and they mostly seem like the same thing.
Alejo gave you a fucking
And then I thought 5 had a really interesting idea with the more political side of it. It was like a cult in America. Like it wasn't like a foreign dictatorship or something like this is. It's like tackling like American conservatism, and I thought there's some really cool things they could do with that. And then apparently, according to people who thought the same who actually played the game, they just didn't. Ubisoft's like, no, our game's totally unpolitical, we promise. Division 2 is totally not political. Like, fucking everything's political, man. Like, here's a game where the bad guy's a foreign dictator, but it's not political. It's just a politician is the villain. That's not political. Not even a little.
And we would catch the fish and then release them. He would say,
I do like this guy though. I never remember his name, but he's in Breaking Bad and The Mandalorian.
challenge. Except when he caught a big, fat, juicy marlin. He was
As shitty as it is the way that people like latch onto Walter White as if he's like supposed to be considered a decent person, like he's really not.
I've caught a very big fish today. Haven't I?
Good God, I love Breaking Bad. And Better Call Saul.
No way.
I have caught you, mijo. Now it's time to bring you home.
I don't want this anymore, Papa.
We have no choice.
Did you really need to translate Papa as father? Like, we couldn't figure that out on our own.
Or lies?
Truth.
They could be good workers.
Fucking.
They could
I thought
rebuild paradise.
I thought they got rid of PogChamp. Or Poggers and replace it with like something that's not the creepy anti-vaxxer. Is that what this thing is with the? Yeah, that's the new PogChamp. I didn't see about that. The new PogChamp is a list. Okay.
For his people. These
That doesn't really quite look the same. You know, it doesn't quite have the same vibe. But that's a good emote. That's cute. I could do without all this. Oh my God! Like all those innocent people died, and then the PogChamp thing lights up. Like, yeah, murdering innocent civilians. How poggers?
You've just seen another
Fucking. Oh God, I feel so awful. I haven't said that out loud. I don't think I've ever said poggers out loud before in my life. Oh.
The most important part of crafting a Far Cry villain isn't the fact that they're evil.
Hashtag gamers, am I right, kids?
That there's someone that could sit across from you at the
We're
dinner
hip, we're
table
cool.
and charm you into thinking that
Please buy our
everything
products.
they believe,
Ignore the sexual abuse. Buy our products. Buy our products.
twisted or horrifying, could be absolutely true. That's the secret to Anton's power, and we couldn't be prouder to have him join the Far Cry family. Now, when creating Anton, we had quite a lot to live up to. Because when you think Far Cry, you think about its rich legacy of villains.
I think about the same open world formula reused over and over
Very
again.
special day for Far Cry fans. Not only did we get to see into the mind of Anton Castillo, we finally get to unveil some of our post-launch plans. Our dream was to honor the Far Cry villain's tradition and introduce a brand new experience. It is time to see the other side. Go further down the rabbit hole, and it's up to you to find a way out.
Oh, is this a VR thing? No, it's just first person camera. Huh? I do remember those Far Cry 3 and 4 villains and them being put very front and center. I think they did seem pretty cool villains. Is this some kind of spin-off game? I suppose for people who are fans of this series, it'd be cool to see like crossover thing with all these, because Far Cry's individual like games usually pretty like solitary like one-off closed off things and not like a continuous story. So I can get that kind of appeal, you know. Like all the like Smash, I like all the Doctor Who like crossovers where there's all the different versions of the Doctor. That's DLC for 6. I was wondering why I didn't have like a different hashtag at the top, why it still said 6. Or Blood Dragon? This is like, this and maybe 5 were like the 2 Far Cries I was interested in getting into. Just because like the themes and the style of it, and they seem more unique and more to my interest in some ways. Okay, so are they including Blood Dragon stuff in the 6 DLC?
Check out this next game.
Oof, Neelam, I can't wait to get my hands on this.
And also, how the hell are they going to make that work in a way that's not complete tonal whiplash? Oops, space. Beyond Good and Evil? Starlink? Oh, I remember seeing there was a leak about a new Mario and Rabbids game. That was just so fucking weird and random though. Just suddenly Mario. That's just a... Is that just a photo of a real oh no. Oh god, that is horrifying. Oh god, no. It's like the fucking sentient McDonald's boxes. That is the worst. Oh no. That thing's more scary than the fucking Far Cry villains, dude. Remember when Rabbids were a Rayman thing? That I remember reading about in magazines the next Rayman 4 and the new villains were these weird rabbit things. There's going to be a proper like 3D Rayman platformer, and then it turned into a minigame collection, and that turned into actually let's just do oh my god. Proton John's fan base is gonna have a field day with that one. Anyway, I'm still waiting on Rayman 4. Like Murphy said in Rayman 3. Origins is not Rayman 4. A 3D platformer would be Rayman 4. And I mean, they're making a comeback now. I mean, 3D platformers have made very much a comeback in the past few years. So, I mean, there's no better time to do that than now. Or to bring back Banjo or anything else like that. But I've been saying that for a couple years now. For a few years. So that doesn't mean it's gonna happen. Oh, this looks... So many parts of this look so not Mario-like. Okay, well, at least now, I remember seeing a title like that and thinking, what the fuck is that? What a weird, like, out-of-place title for a Mario and Rabbids game. But now I've actually seen it and it's like, okay, it's like space, sparks, stars, bright lights, whatever. Like, that makes sense. Hey, it's that guy. He's nice.
The whole team is super proud of this new game, and I can't wait for you to experience it.
God, I remember when this was announced, the first one of these was announced, and we just thought, like, what the fuck? Why? And it came out and it ended up being really good, apparently.
We didn't want to stop there.
Another game I haven't played, but, you know, I'd be interested in trying it. I mean, it's basic...
Are back, and I'm so excited to be back as well today. To unveil
It's basically just like, baby's first XCOM. You know, I haven't played XCOM either, but he's been wondering if I'd be better off playing Mario and Rabbids before trying XCOM. I don't know.
On a major scale. This time it's not just the Mushroom Kingdom. There is an entire galaxy to save. To do so, you will lead a brave yet reckless team of unique heroes, including some fresh faces
How Mario-like
like Rabbids
is
Rosalina
that Galaxy going to be? Is it going to be like Mario Galaxy or
on
some
their
other weird
quest
thing? Because some of
to
these other
uproot evil
his
across the
characters and art
galaxy.
style doesn't seem very
Their
Mario-like.
spaceship will bring them from planet to planet. They will be facing a powerful villain, Cursor, an enemy unlike anything our heroes encountered before. But they won't be alone. By their side, they will have their new allies, the Sparks. These surprising creatures, born from the merge of Rabbids and Lumas, will lend their wild powers to our heroes. Their natures and origin are at the core of our story. But let's keep
Their
some
origin?
surprises for later.
But this is like real, like, thinking the Mario lore stuff.
After the tremendous success of
What was
Mario plus
that?
Rabbids Kingdom Battle, the entire team was moved
Uh-oh, he's coming.
by the amazing reception from players across the world. We were stunned by the love we felt.
On my
for
way
this
to steal your
unexpected
girl.
team-up. We know we've been off the radar for a while now, as we wanted to take the time needed to bring this crossover to the next level. It's not just a new story with new enemies, new heroes. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope has big ambitions. It introduces new action elements into.
Oh no. Oh, please tell me it's not my internet. Please tell me it's just the stream. I mean the Ubisoft stream. Oh, fuck off. Nope. Not putting your ads in here. Get out of here. There we go. Okay, it's what? Oh. Okay, here we go. We're back. I mean, internet has been doing this weird thing where it just kind of cuts out for like a couple minutes randomly, like about once a day. Oh, what happened to the audio there? I don't know how much of this is on my side and how much of it is on like Ubisoft's or Twitch's, but I suppose it would be Twitch's because it's I mean not Ubisoft because it's the restream is through them. I forgot about that for a second. And then I saw the fucking dumb PogChamp stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, right. What the fuck? That's cool! That hair is fucking... What is it? Anime punk bullshit. That's great. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of fan art of that one. Or probably a lot of these. Probably a lot of fan art of the Rosalina thing too. And not just like in Pro John John's community. Just like in general. I mean like the Rabbid Peach fan art was... Well, that was a lot of it.
Not done yet. Let's check in with our CEO, Yves Guillemot.
Oh no. The guy who covered up all that sexual abuse, here he is, let's parade him out. And act like he's someone we're meant to like.
Hi everyone. As you have seen, we have a fantastic and diverse lineup of games coming soon. And this is just the beginning. Thanks to all the teams at Ubisoft for what they achieved.
Yeah, it's been over an hour now, so I guess this is the end.
Striving to deliver the best possible game experiences. I'm humbled by their resilience, energy, and collaboration, especially during what has been a challenging year. I'm also proud of our industry's ability to bring together millions of players from around the world to share memorable experiences and moments of joy. This is one of the real
Moments tempted to tune out, but they'll probably do another one. They might do another, like, one more thing sort of thing.
To do our best. Finally, my sincere thanks to you, the players. We appreciate
You're giving us your money, no matter how much, no matter how shitty we treat you or our employees.
Communities keep them growing and vibrant. We want to create original, enriching, long-lasting game worlds. And your contributions, feedback, and support make it possible. We also are proud that some of the biggest names in entertainment trust our creative teams to develop games within their universes. For example, you just saw Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, developed in collaboration with Nintendo, where everyone's favorite Mario and Rabbids characters return for an all-new adventure.
The post shows are 1:15 and not just like immediately. That makes it look like we've got a little bit more time on this than I thought.
Exciting thing we would like to show you today.
Maybe they'll dwell on this thing for a while. You got an Evil 2, Beyond Good and Evil 2.
That awaits you in one of the most beautiful but dangerous places of all. Brought to life by the latest version of our Snowdrop engine. I'm excited to share this first look with you now. Enjoy.
If it is Beyond Good and Evil 2, I suppose first part they mean is first glimpse of proper gameplay. Unless it's got nothing to do with it. Could be anything. Or it could be Rayman? No, don't get your hopes up. Get your hopes up! For some reason I just saw a pretty forest and I was like, oh, Rayman! Like, that makes any sense. Oh. Yeah, this thing is Beyond Good and Evil. Was it? No. Oh, fuck off. Nah. I was like, oh, it's like a spacey, like, fantasy animal. It's like the kind you take photos of in Beyond Good and Evil. And I was like, no. No, it's not. Speaking of sparks of hope, mine have been snuffed out. What does Twitch have to say about this? Are they just gonna spam it? Then you can tell they're not spamming emotes because they're excited, probably. Well, maybe some of them are, but I'm sure a lot of them are just spamming emotes because, hey, the thing said to. You know, it's like interactive. There's a thing that happens. There's a thing that goes up when you press the button, so make sure you press the button. Oh, I keep pressing the fucking exit theater button instead of this one. Speaking of which, I wonder what century the next Avatar movie's gonna come out. It's weird we got to see more. We got this thing announced before we see anything of the actual movie. It's supposedly been on and off of development for like a decade or something. So even though I didn't play much of it, I did hear that the games that were like the licensed tie-in games for the movies were actually decent. I'm sure this game will be fine. I just find it really hard to care about this franchise when it's been so long and had so much more time to think about that movie that everyone's blown away by when it was new, and then realize, oh hey, maybe it wasn't a masterpiece after all. Maybe it was just another white savior thing. And it just looked really pretty. But you know, I liked it when I watched it for the first time when I was in like high school. I don't really have much, I don't have many strong feelings about Avatar anymore. Oh, there we go. There's a DMCA shit. This is their overpriced subscription service. It's just like shittier version of Game Pass, right? I think that's what the Plus is going to be about. So now that I think about it, calling it Rocksmith Plus, like it's not just associations with all these other things like Disney Plus. It's like Uplay Plus, right? Or whatever that. Yeah, Uplay Plus, and then they've got Rocksmith Plus. So they're two Plus named subscription services from the exact same company. 60% off your first. Like every other subscription service on the planet almost is like, here's a first month for free or like a week for free.
Today, we battled from our
And they're like, here's a first month for like 2/3 off. Come on.
Got an adrenaline rush from Riders Republic.
I don't remember what the prices they said were on during the 2019 conference, but I remember they were stupidly expensive for what it is.
And teamed up with our favorite man in overalls in Mario plus Rabbids.
Don't go anywhere. There's still more to come in the post show.
Bye, y'all.
Okay, that was kind of lame. And it is now 6 o'clock in the morning, so I should probably go to bed. Where's the button? I'm sure the new Mario and Rabbids will be good, but you know, I haven't played the first one. Or Assassin's Creed stuff, because Assassin's Creed is gone full games as a service now, and it's just expansion after expansion for the same game. And I don't know, that's... In some ways that's better because they're not releasing game after game every year. It's not the same thing, but on the other hand, it's still like the equivalent amount of content, right? Or maybe not exactly the same. Still a lot of the same shit over and over. I think some of the Assassin's Creed games had really shitty microtransaction stuff, like it wasn't just DLC packs you could buy. And there wasn't...
Let's get scratching.
Really wasn't anything there for me this time around. Plenty of games that I'm sure will be perfectly fine, but just not for me. I did say I was going to go to bed. I just remembered, I think Devolver Digital's thing's in like half an hour. I probably won't stream that one, because I remember last time I streamed that, and I was just like dead silent for the whole thing. Like, I enjoy those, but like they're not things that I can have a lot to say about. But I suppose both this and even more so the Summer Games Fest thing, I'm just so fucking tired of AAA like gaming stuff. I don't know. It's all so corporate, so insincere to me. Many of these games seem really samey. There's some more interesting stuff in the Ubisoft one than the Games Fest. Or maybe I'd already forgotten most of what was in the Games Fest. Like the Death Stranding's getting a port. I mean, that trailer was cute, but like it's just... I don't know what they're doing with it other than just putting it on the new consoles. Elden Ring, that's like a... That's a FromSoft thing. Like I'm not really a Souls-like fan at all. I played a bit of Let It Die, like the first like 10 hours of it before the microtransaction free-to-play nature of it, and they sort of grabbed hold of it too much and the difficulty became too unfair even for that kind of game. Even people that play a lot of Souls-likes were like, yeah, that game, like, there's a real solid start and then it turns to shit after a while. It becomes a slog that you've either got to replay stuff over and over again because you lose your character, or you just got to pay up a ton of money. Souls-likes just aren't like... I don't know, AAA games just... Not a lot of them do it for me as much as they used to. There are some big franchises I still really love, but then there's stuff like... The whole culture around all this stuff is just... So many of these games are so samey, I'm just tired of it all. It was so nice like, I just kind of skimmed through the Summer Games Fest stuff. And while most of it was, like, not super interesting to me, not really my thing, like, right afterwards was Day of the Devs, which is, like, Double Fine's thing where they host a bunch of, like, indie developers, and there's some really cool shit in there. Like, sometimes I look at stuff like this and wonder, like, am I just not into video games anymore or something? Like, if I just... Like, what's happening here? Like, is this me? Is it... And then I look at the Day of the Devs and I'm like, there's so much cool, creative, unique shit here. Why isn't AAA games more like this? Ugh. Like, Toem's the one that stands out to me the most there. Like, I think they had a thing for Chicory, which is something I backed on. I haven't played it yet. It only like just came out like a couple days ago, and I backed that on Kickstarter. And like that looks really cool and cute and creative and fun. But then there's a lot of this big AAA shit, especially the Western stuff. Just where's the creativity? You know, where's the personality? Where's the heart in all this stuff? Like, oh, what's popular? Shooter games? Check. Zombies? Check. I don't know, sports stuff? Check, you know? I'm not really putting my thoughts in the words very well, but you know, it is like 6 a.m, so can you be surprised even with my shitty sleep? It's been a busy day. Long day at work, get home, mess around with streaming stuff, messing with settings until like bloody 6 a.m, 6:15 nearly. But tomorrow's thing is the Microsoft stuff. Tomorrow is a bit where I'm more interested in, and the Square Enix stuff. The Square will hopefully have some info on maybe they'll have something about the James Bond game. It might be a bit too soon for that, but they'll hopefully have more Final Fantasy VII Remake stuff. Like, I think Intergrade just came out, but I can't play it because I don't have a PS5 yet. So maybe we'll get some kind of mention about the next, like, the next remake chapter, game, episode, whatever you want to call it. Maybe not, I don't know. As much as I don't really like Bethesda, you know, Microsoft's got some cool stuff that I like. They've got Ori, they've got Halo Infinite. Last time I streamed bloody the Microsoft thing, they're talking about how Halo Infinite was going to come out like late, was it that year or the next year? It was going to come out in 2020, and then now, you know, delayed the thing by like a whole year. Which I'm fine with if that's what they need to do for that game to be what it needs to be. Get that game up to scratch, then I'm all for that, you know? As long as that delay really pays off when we don't get another Cyberpunk or something. And yeah, and Bethesda owning id means we might see some more stuff about... We probably won't see anything about Doom, because like Doom, unless it's updates for Eternal, because apparently they're going to support that more, even though the DLC is already out. The Ancient Gods Part 1 and 2 are both out. I haven't played them yet, but I finished Doom Eternal, and I love that. There's not all AAA games, you know, there's Doom Eternal is something that really speaks to me. Like, that coming out at the same time as Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing something that really speaks to me as well. So tomorrow I think will be more exciting. Because Microsoft also gets a lot of just random, all sorts of different stuff. So there's like a lot of like typical AAA stuff like this that I couldn't care about less, and then they, like, how many years ago it was, they bloody had Kingdom Hearts and like Phantasy Star Online and stuff like that at a Microsoft, like the Xbox conference. Like, they've got a lot of all sorts of different stuff. All sorts of people are in all sorts of different kinds of games there. So, you know, I respect that a lot. And there'll probably be something there for me, even without the Bethesda stuff. And then Bethesda has id. There was a Wolfenstein 3 was like not like formally announced with a trailer or anything, but like they just mentioned like, I think even before they announced Youngblood, maybe not, I don't know. But we know there's a Wolfenstein 3 coming. We know that game's meant to exist. And I think they said it's also going to be the one when they're bringing back the Mecha Hitler thing from Wolfenstein 3D. So I wouldn't expect a new Doom game, but like, there seems to be a pattern recently with the new Wolfensteins and Dooms. It's like they kind of alternate. Like there's Wolfenstein, it's excluding like the smaller stuff, like excluding the Old Blood, excluding DLC and updates and Youngblood, and it seems to be like new Wolfenstein, new Doom, new Wolfenstein, new Doom every like year or two. So I would not be surprised at all. I think it's pretty likely tomorrow we'll see an announcement for Wolfenstein 3. And that's definitely going to be up my alley. You're probably going to see something more about Halo Infinite. Extremely up my alley. I love Halo. After this E3 stuff, I want to... like I was already talking about earlier, since my next like video essay is going to be about... Well, I suppose technically my first video essay, but like not my first like scripted, because you know I've done reviews before, but I'm trying to shift into more general essay territory. My next video is going to be about Halo, so and I want to stream a Halo 1 and replay that for the billionth time because I can stream and record and get footage for it. So Halo is extremely my thing, and I would not be surprised if we saw more of that. I doubt we'd see anything from Ori because, like, the way that Will of the Wisps ended, that very much feels like that's the end of that story, you know? Like, there's not really anywhere else I can really take that. But, you know, I'm interested to see what Moon Studios does next. I think, like, before they even announced the first Ori, though, I looked at, like, so after like, already knowing about Ori, I looked into, like, the company's, like YouTube channel and some other stuff, and they had some like prototypes of some first-person shooter thing that which is very different from Ori for sure, but you know, like they've got, I'm sure they've got other ideas and aren't just let's do Ori again. So whatever, or let's do something in that style again. So whatever Moon Studios does next could be pretty much anything as far as I'm concerned. But then, as someone who absolutely adores Ori, then it'll be interesting to see what they do next. Don't know if it'll be ready by then or not. Like, the Ori games were spaced apart quite a bit between announcements and reveals, and there's a lot of delays as well. It's a pretty small team making these really, like, games for, like, not big for, like, a AAA studio, but, like, big for, like, a 2D game in this day and age, for sure. Like, they're a smaller studio making a game like that. I'm not surprised, and you know, it was worth waiting for those games because they're both masterpieces, honestly. I'm probably like one of the few people on the planet that thinks the first Ori game's better, but you know, that's a conversation for another time. Oh, and Perfect Dark! Oh, how could I forget about that? We might see gameplay of the new Perfect Dark, or just like any kind of more information about that. And I've completely forgotten what the game that Rare themselves are doing is now, but we'll probably see more of that. Anything that involves more Rare properties, even if it's not another Banjo, like I would want most, I suppose, then, you know, I love Perfect Dark. I'd love to see more of that. Just a lot of Rareware stuff I love. So we could see, like, I mean, Battletoads came back. Like, at this point, pretty much anything's possible with a lot of these older Rareware franchises. They're very slowly doing stuff with them. This is saying, since Microsoft owns Double Fine now, we're probably going to see Psychonauts 2 stuff. That game's been in development for some time. So yeah, tomorrow's looking a lot more interesting. So I think and like I also Square, like I mentioned, I'll probably stream that. I didn't last time because the time of day didn't match up with my sleep and work and all that sort of stuff at the time, but it does this year. So I'll probably stream Square. And I've only played bits and pieces of Tomb Raider, but that's something I'm interested in. So maybe I probably won't have more of that. Like, I feel like the new trilogy of Tomb Raiders kind of comes to, maybe it's come so close, maybe it hasn't. I don't know. I'm just assuming that because there's 3 of them in the new style by Crystal Dynamics. Almost said 3 by Crystal Dynamics, but I forgot they've been doing it since like Legend on the original Xbox and PS2 and stuff. And I want another Gex game. Who even owns the rights to Gex anyway? Because that's the same developer, Crystal Dynamics. They make Tomb Raider now. They've been making Tomb Raider since Legend. We're probably not going to see another Gex game. But, you know, we got new ports for Ty and Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. This is from company, but still, it's another weird random old mascot you wouldn't expect to come back. Bobsy as well came back. Like, anything's possible. Not likely, but possible. It's kind of creepy though, and the more I think about it, it's just Microsoft and Bethesda being combined. It's just too many big companies owning everything. Break them up. Capitalism sucks. We don't need one big company swallowing up every smaller company into one massive whole thing.
Let's get scratching.
But I mean, there's only so much I can do about that. Vote with my wallet where appropriate. Like, voting in actual elections. But you know, I live in Australia. A lot of these companies are either American or Japanese, so it's not like it affects the game industry. What I would do in that sense. Not that that means I shouldn't vote or something. Anyway, I should probably stop now before I just spend like another hour just talking about politics or something. Knowing me, I will. Yeah, tomorrow's got some exciting stuff. And yesterday had some exciting stuff, but it also had a lot of not exciting stuff, so I still think I made the right decision not streaming it. I somehow managed to find enough to talk about, I feel like. Even though a lot of these games aren't for me at all. And even though I made all these changes to my stream setup, to the aesthetic of it, some of the visual assets and things like that. Where's the button? Still haven't made an end screen. Still just got some text. And just never got around to it. So I say thanks for coming, but my view count has been constantly at 1, and I'm pretty sure that 1 is just me looking at the preview window. If it's not, thank you, though. And someone will probably watch some of this on YouTube. But if you do check this out, thanks for watching. A lot of these, less so with other things, much more so with streams. I do streams more than anything for myself, honestly. It's good for me to get my thoughts out there, to record them, to do something with them, instead of just having them circling around in my head. And then, you know, it's good to take this and make something productive out of it. And it feels good to get it out of my system. Yeah, so to anyone who does end up watching these, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. And guess I'll see you next time.